This interview was recorded virtually, so you might hear some white noise from the video. You can find more information about this interview on your Town Square Media station app. I'm Emily Mashak, and you're listening to Tuned Into NoCo, Town Square Media's show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm talking today with Selina Lujan de Albers, the Senior Indoor Air Quality Specialist with the City of Fort Collins Healthy Homes Program, about upcoming Radon information sessions that the city is having and how we can keep our homes healthy in general. So thank you so much for joining me, Selina.
Awesome. Well, thank you for this opportunity and, letting me share a little bit more about what we're working on and all the good stuff related to indoor air quality and radon.
Let's jump in. I know we're here to talk about the information sessions, but before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about the city's Healthy Homes program. So for those who are unfamiliar, what is it and how did you find your way there and get involved?
Yeah, so the Healthy Homes program is such a wonderful program. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I've been with the program for about 9 years now. Healthy Homes just celebrated its 10th year at the City of Fort Collins, which is amazing. But it is a indoor air quality program focused on assessments of homes to identify any indoor air quality pollutants or biological contaminants that could impact our health. Our indoor air quality is up to 5 times worse than outdoor air quality, which sometimes in some days it's hard to imagine that, right? And where we are at the greatest environmental risk is where we have the most control, and that's in our homes. And so the reason why I love Healthy Homes is we're really focused on finding low cost or no cost solutions to mitigate any small to big indoor air quality program. So it's quite involved. It's a very generalist program where we focus on the whole house as a system. So we're looking at everything from pest control all the way to the chemical products that we have in our home that we use for cleaning and other things. So Healthy Homes is very well-rounded. And we get a lot of calls about mold, radon, carbon monoxide, and some general calls that are just, I'm not feeling well. And I notice that I'm not feeling well when I'm inside my home. Could my home be making me sick? And so our program's goal is to just help identify, again, those low cost, no cost solutions to help eliminate any sort of indoor air quality concern that could be impacting overall health. So I think I mentioned this, but I started out as an intern 9 years ago, and now I'm the program coordinator. So I hope that's a testament to how much I really do love this program. We get to work with the community, and it's such an honor and privilege to be invited into someone's home, their sanctuary, to have conversations about what can we do, especially when a lot of what we recommend are behavioral changes, changes to the way we clean, taking shoes off at the door, the way we maintain our appliances in our household, like our furnaces, our water heaters, things like that. So it's amazing to see all the different homes and meet such incredible people in our community and just share, a lot of this technical knowledge, but, really make it digestible, because indoor air quality, you can really go in deep on the technical aspects of it. And so we really want to make it as digestible as possible. Another really cool piece about the Healthy Homes program is it's totally volunteer driven. We are a staff of about 2.5, but this program would not be possible without our volunteers. And so we have about 30 plus volunteers who go through a training, become certified to then go out and do these assessments. During COVID times, we've had to switch things up quite a bit. We've had to move our assessment process to over the phone. And that seems to be working well. And what I'm excited about is opportunities to really continue to make an impact. We're looking at, recommendations that we would normally make and really just serving the community by focusing on how can we make a greater impact based off of kind of those top recommendations and help meet people where they're at and provide those resources. So there's always opportunity to get creative around indoor air quality and to help out where the need is at.
Yeah, well, it's so exciting to hear about how multifaceted this program is. I will say I am surprised to hear that indoor air quality can often be worse than outdoor. Is that really just because of those things you mentioned, like possible furnaces, cleaning, even the radon? Is that really the culprit?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with what we bring into the home. Sometimes radon, for example, and I'm sure we're going to dive into that here soon. That's a little bit out of our control. It's totally based off of, the soil that we're living on. However, the things like you mentioned, cleaners that we bring into our home, how often we change our furnace filters, moisture issues, yeah, those really do contribute to that statistic of 2 to 5 times higher than outdoor air quality. And we spend about 90% of our time indoors. I mean, I was really surprised when I first heard that. I was like, do we really? And I thought about it and it's like, yeah, at the office, at my house, it does really add up how much time we spend inside versus outside. And so with that said, it makes sense to focus on indoor air quality because we tend to prioritize our health quite a bit, right? It's a really important thing for our overall livability. We want to be healthy, especially, in Fort Collins in northern Colorado, we're all about health. And so it's exciting to kind of look at another aspect of health and how we can really just make, well, what I want to say is, how we can really empower people to take that control in their own home, to feel like I'm implementing recommendations or certain habits on a monthly, weekly basis, daily, maybe even, that I feel comfortable doing. And I know that this isn't going to impact my health in a negative way. So, yeah.
Well, and speaking of that, like you said, the city is hosting radon information sessions to help people kind of mitigate those indoor air quality issues. What is radon, though? I know you said it has to do with soil. How does it impact our health?
Right. So, like you said, we have these awesome radon education sessions that we are doing in collaboration with Larimer County. The first one's going to be on September 16th from 6 to 7. And the second one is September 21st from 12 to 1 p.m. And sorry, 6 to 7 p.m. That is for the first one. And it's all online. And what's really cool about these sessions is that they're going to be offered in both English and Spanish. And so I'm really excited to be able to offer that presentation in 2 languages. But like you asked, what is radon? When I first heard the word radon, I thought, the periodic table, right? That's where you hear about radon mostly. But, radon really does impact homes in Colorado. Radon is a odorless, tasteless, invisible gas, so you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, but it is there. And it is the second leading cause of lung cancer. And so it's a pretty major deal. And our homes in Colorado are just more susceptible because we have higher concentrations of uranium in our soil. So what happens is the uranium in the soil underneath our homes, it breaks down and releases radon gas into our homes, and it can seep through in a variety of different ways. Big culprits of high levels of radon are, crawl spaces that are exposed to the soil. So it doesn't have any sort of barrier that is holding that radon gas down. So yeah, radon is just high in Colorado because we have high concentrations in our soil. So we live in zone 1 for radon, which means that our homes are just statistically more likely to have higher than the recommended EPA level of radon. So that's higher than 4 picocuries per liter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And now I know a lot of listeners are probably going to be hearing this and be like, I need to sign up for these radon information sessions. How can they do that?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. I'm glad you asked. So everybody can sign up on our website. So fcgov.com/radon. And on that page, there is a blue box with information about the education sessions. And there are 2 links for each session that say register now. And so you can register. And as a part of registering, you're also registering to receive a free radon test kit that will be mailed to your home. So that's super nice. So you don't have to go anywhere or purchase a radon kit. By participating, you get one free.
Gotcha. And now clearly attending the sessions and getting the test kit are one of the greatest ways to protect against radon. How else can listeners mitigate radon, though, in their homes, in their day-to-day lives?
Great question to ask, because one way to get rid of radon is by mitigating. We focus on two forms of radon mitigation. That's passive mitigation and active subslab depressurization mitigation. That's quite the mouthful, but basically, you want to create a vacuum under the foundation of your home that draws out the radon gas. Now, in doing so, we highly, highly recommend using a certified radon contractor to do so. Other ways of mitigating for radon could be, like I mentioned before, sealing up your crawl space or sump pumps. That can help reduce the levels of radon. But the majority of the focus when it comes to mitigation is either through, again, passive or active mitigation. CDPHE, that's the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, they have a ton of great resources when it comes to understanding not only how to test for radon, but also how to mitigate for radon. And again, we really do rely on their resources to help us inform people to the best of our ability. And they have a list of those certified contractors in, throughout the whole state, really, but even in our area, to help identify contractors who can do the work for your home. That is the best way to get rid of radon, is just install a active or a passive mitigation system.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Selina. And on top of radon, I know another thing on Coloradans and our listeners' minds right now is concern about the impact from all of the wildfire smoke going around. What are some of the ways that listeners can keep their homes safe during wildfire season?
Yes, I love that question because, a lot of the times we can see, the impacts from wildfires outside. So it suggests that going outside is not a good idea. But we don't always think about how is this impacting our indoor air quality, and it really is. And so there are three main things to keep in mind when keeping our homes safe in the event that we're experiencing a wildfire. And the first is setting up a clean airspace in the home. So that could simply be turning on your central AC system on to recirculate. Now that's if it has it. Not all homes have that recirculate option. So if that's not an option, we recommend looking into purchasing a portable air cleaner that is certified to filter the air in your home. We have a lot of great information on our website. So that's ftgov.com/healthy homes that talks about how can I identify the perfect air cleaner for my home. So there's information there. So the second thing is also limiting activities that could increase pollutants in the home during a wildfire event. So this includes things like dusting, vacuuming, burning candles, and even cooking, where we're increasing the particle counts in our home. And so we're coupling that with the wildfire smoke from outside. The last thing too is ventilating the home when the outdoor air quality is acceptable. So when there's a good opportunity where the outside air is nice and clean, it's always a good idea, regardless of wildfires or not, to allow some fresh air come into your home and get that stagnant air out, and really just kind of, there's nothing better than fresh air, right? So to allow that fresh air to come in. And so in doing so, the best way to identify when a good opportunity to open windows up is by checking the air quality index. And again, great information on our main page, our main air quality page. There you can find the air quality index, and that's fcgov.com/air quality.
Well, thank you so much, Selina. And I know we've covered a lot about indoor air quality today, but is there anything else you think listeners need to be more aware of when it comes to their indoor air quality and keeping a healthy home?
There's so many different things. And like I mentioned, Healthy Homes is a real generalist program where we focus on everything. So it could be very specific to what you're experiencing in your home. But one thing that I can say is that in every assessment that we offer, we go into some homes where people are doing so many things so well. And yet we still find, one or two things that can be done. So there's always something that can be done when it comes to improving indoor air quality. And so, gosh, it's really hard to pick just one thing that people should be aware of, but a big thing when it comes to really safety in the home is making sure that your carbon monoxide detector and your fire alarms are up to date, and having a fire extinguisher on hand in addition to that. So when it comes to immediate safety in terms of potential concern for another odorless, tasteless gas, carbon monoxide, I highly recommend getting those checked out. One thing that I love, again, about Healthy Homes is that as a part of our assessment process and participating, we offer, in partnership with the Food or Fire Authority, a free carbon monoxide detector and fire alarm to each home. So by participating, we make sure that you or whoever participates has a functioning carbon monoxide detector. And really, those should be located on every floor of the home, 15 feet away from every sleeping area. So that's really important. But I could start naming off all the different things that could be done, but then we would be doing our own assessment here in this interview. So that's one way people can, really learn more is by participating in the program and having an assessment done of their home. And as I mentioned, due to COVID, we are offering those over the phone, and we have an online version of our assessment as well, where people can do it themselves. They can assess their own home through our online do-it-yourself assessment tool and still receive all those goodies as well.
Thank you so much, Selina, for taking the time. I know this information will be very helpful for our listeners. And again, it was great to chat with you today.
Yeah, same. Thanks, Emily.
Again, that was Selina Lujan de Albers talking about the City of Fort Collins' upcoming Radon information sessions. Learn more about the sessions and the City of Fort Collins Healthy Homes program at ftcgov.com.